On this episode of Tim's Vault, we're bringing it back to the 80s. This is my 1986 Proline 2660 from Ibanez. Now I know what you're thinking. This should be a Jackson. This should have a Jackson headstock. Absolutely not. It's 2026. Flashback 40 years ago to 1986, and metal was king. You had bands like Slayer putting out Rain and Blood, Metallica putting out Master of Puppets, and even Megadeth putting out Peace Sells. If you want to have your mind blown, go look up metal releases from 1986. It might possibly be the best year for metal releases ever. The offset V was definitely one of the raddest shapes to come out of that entire era, and every company was doing them. You name the company, they probably had an offset V. Ibanez took the shape and really nailed it on the head with this one. When Ibanez launched the Proline series, it came in a couple different body shapes, including the Roadstar with some upgraded shredder features. That line was also the precursor to the Power, the Radius, and the Saber, which a lot of people know as the 540R, the 540S, and the 540P, and the 540P2. The Radius was the precursor to the JS model and the Satriani model that everyone knows today. And the Saber model is the S series that we all still play and love. Eventually that line was discontinued, and we can get to that on another video. But what we got out of that line was what you know as your modern Ibanez stuff today. This guitar on its own only lasted a single year. Now, you had other iterations like the PL2660, which was very similar, and then the RR250, which was the most inexpensive model of this shape. I am a little biased because I've owned all three models, but this one's my favorite. I scooped this one on Reverb a couple years ago, and honestly, I could not be more stoked to have this in my possession because they're insanely rare, and for some reason they go for crazy amounts of money nowadays. So let's get into it. Obviously, the pearl white body with the black pinstripes is iconic for reasons that we all know. So this is a neck through construction guitar, right? So it has a maple neck all the way through, and it has alder wings off to the side. This has an ebony board with shark tooth inlays. I mean, dude, classic 80s Ibanez look. One thing to notice about this, about the shark tooth, is that 1986 was the first year that Ibanez chose to do the shark tooth inlays. This, amongst two others, were the very first guitars in the Ibanez line to feature the shark tooth inlays. So it is very cool to have one of those guitars. On top of that, black headstock, which was standard for Ibanez back in the day. I mean, you look at any Ibanez guitar from, you know, the mid 80s all the way through, I mean, honestly, even until the early 2000s, most guitars had a black headstock. If it wasn't black, it was either natural or it was like a matching headstock. Occasionally they would do rosewood headstocks, which was absolutely insane. Another first for 1986 was the introduction of the original Edge. Now, the original Edge was a top-mounted trem in 1986, and then in 1987 for the RGs and everything else, they went to recessed, like a lot of other companies of that era. But to have a top-mounted original Edge is wild, you know, especially because, like I said originally, you know, they came with the Pro Rockers in the 80s, like a lot of the Ibanez stuff came with the Pro Rockers, and in my opinion, those bridges were not the best. You had companies like Floyd Rose and Kahler and all these other companies making, you know, floating trems and so on and so forth, and dual locking trems, but Ibanez really didn't get it perfect until 1986 with the release of the Edge. So now with the Pro Rocker, I've had 4 or 5 guitars with that bridge. It's just not for me. I know a lot of people liked them in the time and in the era, but, you know, once, you know, years went on and the technology advanced, these bridges are just leagues ahead of those Pro Rockers. You know, the original Edge, ever since then, has been widely loved by, you know, even people that don't play Ibanez know that the original Edge and the Low Pro Edge are some of the best bridges in the game. Now, one of the things for me that is completely out of the ordinary for my collection is the fact that it's a 22 fret and 24 3/4 scale. Now, most of the time, 24 fret, 25 5-inch scale, that's just what I love. But man, this thing plays like butter and it's just obnoxiously smooth. I really do like the scale length and the 22 frets on this guitar. You know, one of the reasons why I loved V's when I was a kid was obviously because of guys like Randy Rhoads, but you know, you had guys like Alexi Laiho and Dave Mustaine also playing V's, and those dudes are absolutely insane in their own right. I think these guitars absolutely look awesome on stage. I do wish that Ibanez would make more V's, but there are certain reasons why we'll never see that. You know, one thing about V's as well is they're a little annoying to play while you're sitting down, so it definitely is a live guitar in my opinion. I really do think that these guitars just belong on stage. You know, I always have thought that it would be cool to break this out live and, you know, see people's reactions. But, you know, most of the time in songs with fit, we're using all 7 strings. So it'd be kind of hard to incorporate a 6 string in, but I might be able to do it. Or maybe I'll just start an 80s thrash band to give me an excuse to play this guitar as my main. Who knows? We don't know. Either way, I absolutely love this guitar. It's an absolute ripper, and I'm beyond stoked to have it in my collection. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I'll see you guys next time.